Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. I am your host, Jeremy Weber, joined as always by Dan Vondelok. And on today's show, we're going to be recapping the weekend in NFTs. We have news from Gutter Cat Gang, Akutars, Starbucks dropped some NFT news first thing Monday morning, Wolf Game reveal. We got, let's see, what else? Doodles today. So, the NFT market may be slow, but there's still a lot of news out there, a lot of things happening, and we're going to get into all of that. Dan, how are we doing today? How are you feeling after that Max Verstappen win in Italy over the weekend?
It's just the usual at this point, right?
All right, shut the hell up.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good. I feel like it's been ages since we've made a video together.
I know
So
I've been
it's been
I
so long.
took a few days off and the NFT market falls apart. I
Yeah,
guess I
yeah.
can't go on vacation anymore. Um, so let's get into it. We've seen trading volume was absolutely terrible over the weekend. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think on OpenSea it was just over 10 million a day, which is not great. And I don't know if that's a function of people are uncertain of they want to spend their ETH with the merge coming, how much that's impacting everything. But we did have some news. So let's start with Doodles. They announced that they raised $54 million at a $704 million valuation, which is a pretty hefty number. From what I could tell, they raised this money back in like June, but they just
Mm,
announced it today. And so, they've been awfully quiet on Twitter. They haven't said anything in a while. Then they put out this tweet. They're going to be having some team members on a Twitter Spaces tonight to, talk about this. I'm not sure if they're going to be answering questions or anything. It also looks like they have a lot of positions open that they're trying to fill. So they're hiring and they're still trying to build. And we've seen the floor react. So it looks like the floor on Doodles is near the top of 24-hour volume, which these days doesn't take a ton to do.
yeah.
But their floor has recovered. It's back over 8 ETH. So it looks like people have responded positively to everything that they've said so far.
Yeah, it's a bunch of positions. Like, I would name them, but I would just be spewing like functions for like the next 1 minute. So I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of functions. 18 in total. So they mentioned they were gonna open those, like post those next week. So if you're head of finance, head of business, etc., I would take a look. Illustrator and many more.
Yeah, which I'm wondering, what have they been doing for the last month? Like, have they not been
Nothing.
hiring? Like, yeah, what's been going? Are they just been on vacation? Like, what's been going on?
I
Uh,
mean, there is a world where look, I'm not gonna spill like conspiracy theories, but if did you mention they had it since June?
that's what I am under the impression of that they've had. This money was raised a few months ago, and they just announced it. To, like, put the actual the figures out today.
It's just odd that they've been quiet for like, was it 50 days or something?
Yeah, which I mean, in the big scheme of things, 50 days is not much. Like, we hear from bigger companies far less
Yeah,
frequently than that. So I get it. It's just it was the lack of communication of any kind
yeah.
that rubbed people the wrong way. So we'll see how things go. I'll do my best to listen to the Twitter Spaces tonight and kind of see what the vibe is there and what they say, and if it provides any insight into what they've been doing, what can be expected in the coming months from all of these different NFTs they have between doodles and duplicators and Genesis boxes. They got 40,000 NFTs in their collection. Yeah, and I don't really know what many of them do. So we'll have to get some insight there, I would think. Let's get into some other big news today, which was the reveal of Wolf Game Land. So, as a resident Wolf Game aficionado, I'm going to pass this one off to you and let you wax poetic on Wolf Game.
Yeah, I mean they revealed last night, and I was sleeping as I usually do at 5 a.m. Um, Unfortunately, there's some people weren't too happy with how it was revealed because it was just like a normal reveal where where the developer just flips a switch and then magically you can refresh your metadata and boom, you can see your stuff. It's a little bit of a letdown, at least for the review mechanic side of things, because the former reveal, which happened 2 months ago maybe, there was like this whole show and you could like press a button and you could see it like reveal in front of your eyes. and you couldn't just press refresh metadata, right? You have to. It was like an opt-in for like a few days, and then everything was going to be revealed. So a little bit unfortunate, but I'll go ahead and share my screen real quick, so you can get a taste of the assets. Can you see this? JWeb, can you see this?
It would help if I was unmuted. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There we go. Yeah,
So,
can you like click on the picture so we can see it a little bit bigger? Okay.
Yeah, so this is like a super generic piece. At the bottom you can see this like these squares. So the green is grass, which it has none of, and then the brown is like the trees, the forest. The stone is, you know, rock, stone, and then water is water. And everything combines to 400 always. It's just a matter of how it's distributed.
And then there's like I saw the barn symbol on there as well, like on the bottom right.
Yeah, that's a good observation actually. So there are structures that are able to be made, and this is what it would look like. And so it looks like this. And the fun thing about Wolfgame, but also like the annoying thing about Wolfgame, is this is still a lot of speculation. The full game is going to be releasing in the next quarter, but the full game white paper hasn't come out yet, so people don't really know exactly what's what, or what's gonna do what, or because currently stone is the most rare like mineral, or what do you call it?
Resource.
Resource. There you go.
Okay.
But I've got a little feeling that water might be more impactful in the game, because like what would you use stone for? For example, you could use it to build like this thing, right? Which is going to be like a barn where you're allegedly able to breed sheep in.
So real quick on the barn side of things, did you say you can build a barn on your land?
You can build a barn on your land if you have this barn thing already on your land.
Okay, so you can't, like on that previous one you showed, you can't build a barn anywhere you want.
Yeah, you just wouldn't be able to. So the current floor for barns is, or like the building thing, is 1.2. So it's a pretty hefty floor price. So it's 4 times the floor roughly. But you know, there's a lot of game theory here, because stone is the most rare commodity. But I would assume you would primarily use it for building like a shed or whatever. But water, I think that's maybe more versatile, but it's not the most rare commodity. So a lot of interesting stuff happening there. So volume is being pretty good, as you can see at this little graph over here if it ever loads, because OpenSea is slow. Shocking, right? So here you can see a little bit of a little bit of a volume increase. Perhaps we should show this on FLOLiO as well, just to see the difference. But as you can see,
I'll pull it up on mine, and I'll bring up some of the charts.
Because our website is actually better than OpenSea. Shocker.
Who would have thought?
Right?
Let me pull up what we got over on FLOLiO.com. And on that note, please like today's stream, subscribe to our channel, and head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT needs. So if we look over here, this is our ownership chart. We see, you know, over the last week, it's pretty flat. You know, it's 0.84% down. This volume one is for the last week. Let's see on the 1 month. On the 1 month. So, you know, more volume in the last 24 or so, like 12 hours, than we've seen in the previous 29 days combined. So, you know, definitely a lot of activity now. The floor price, as you would expect, has gone down, but it hasn't gone down terribly, right? Like that's to be expected when there's a rarity lotto involved. You know, people are seeing they didn't get land that had a barn plot on it, didn't get land that had stone maybe, and they're looking at like resources. So that's not shocking at all. But yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like fairly solid on Wolfgame right now.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I had to mention, and that's there are communities, which is roughly where your land is located on the grand map, essentially. But there are also community zeros, which are the most expensive assets on out of all these lands, and the community zeros allegedly aren't on the farm map, but they're outside of it. So they're rumored to be like a farmer's market or like something more utility based, perhaps something where you can exchange commodities, exchange stone for wood or something. So that's all very very interesting. The floor for those are currently around 4 to 5 ETH. So that's a pretty hefty price you would have to pay.
That is a pretty hefty price. Okay. Well, we will see how this plays out. Yesterday morning, we got a big piece of news that Starbucks was giving some more details on their NFT program. So we found out a while ago that the Starbucks loyalty program would have some sort of NFT component to it. And yesterday it was announced that it would be called Odyssey. It's going to be on Polygon. Some background on Starbucks loyalty. I tweeted some information out yesterday. Currently, over 30 million users on the Starbucks loyalty program. That's a lot of people. And it makes up a pretty good amount of Starbucks overall revenue, like comes from loyalty holders. So very dedicated people. They love their Starbucks. So number one, that's a great thing for NFTs. Now, they've said they're not going to use the term. They're creating an NFT while distancing themselves from NFTs in Web3 in that they're not calling it NFTs. They're calling them journey stamps on there. You're not going to need to use crypto, which I think is a good thing because if we want mass adoption, we need to make it easier for people to get involved. And if you expect all these people who have their Starbucks to create a MetaMask and buy ETH or buy Polygon on Coinbase, like that's just not going to be a thing. So they're making it to where you can buy with a credit or debit card. There is going to be a secondary marketplace. So people who get in on the initial drop or who, participate in the different journeys to earn their stamps are going to be able to buy and sell things. And they're going to have some cool stuff on there. They said, obviously you'll be able to get products based on how much you do. They're going to have classes, but they're also going to do some really big things, like have people be able to, have the top end ones send people to Costa Rica to check out, their whole big facility down there where they have their farm and some other really cool things. So I think overall, this is a very good thing. And it's really annoying to see people hate on it on Twitter because everyone has been saying that we need more people in the NFT space. We need a new way to bring people in. This is that, but people still are just bitter and want to hate on it because it's not going to immediately pump their bags, which is just so short-sighted and stupid. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, there's no long-term negative about this. It seems good. You know, I don't know too much about it, but the thing that I liked the most was all the Web2 people replying to it, kind of.
Oh,
I saw a bunch of funny comments like, "We just want coffee, a coffee brewer makes coffee, no riffraff, we just want coffee, no NFT bullshit."
They had to turn off the comments, which is just obviously that was inevitable. But at the same, additionally, if this goes well, there are going to be plenty of other big brands who are other big brands are watching. They saw that the Tiffany's NFT sold out. They're going to be paying attention to this. This could help open the floodgates to mass adoption, but because it's not going to pump someone's crypto dick butt bag, they're throwing shade at it, which is just so asinine. It drives me crazy. If the only perspective you have is this is going to help provide me more exit liquidity and it's going to pump my bags, you're not going to make it in this market anyways. You might as well just leave now. So I think people need to get their heads out of their asses a little bit and realize that this is a step in the right direction and stop being a bunch of babies. It's I came back from vacation and I was feeling so refreshed. And then I jumped on Twitter and I saw people arguing over the dumbest shit. And I was just like, I hate
big mistake.
I hate some of these people. I just need to spend less time on Twitter because it is just an absolute death spiral at the moment.
Yeah, it's also a little bit of an echo chamber, so it's nice to kind of get out of it now and then.
Yeah, it most certainly is. And one of the biggest bickerings I was seeing was between Gutter Cat Gang and Bored Apes, and it was surrounding the Dutch auction that Gutter Cat Gang was having over the weekend. So Gutter Cat Gang announced it, I believe, on Friday that they were going to be doing their DNA2 Gutter Juice Dutch auction on Saturday. It was going to be a total of 4,000 supply. Similar to the first Gutter Juice one, it was going to start at a price of 0.9, I believe, and end at 0.3, which was higher than what it ended at for the first Gutter Juice, but the supply was going to be considerably lower. So 4,000 DNA2 Gutter Juices, 1,000 of each species. Like last time, it wasn't going to be an instant reveal. It was going to be like 24 hours later. It all sold out, which is good. It also is not going to increase the total clone supply. So for those who weren't paying attention before, the previous Gutter Juice drop, you could use your Gutter Juice to create a random clone or to create a clone of one of your previous Gutter Cat assets. With this, you're going to need to use the Gutter clone of your choosing to enhance the traits from it. At the same time, you're also going to have to burn another Gutter clone so that it doesn't increase the total supply. So you're going to need 2 Gutter clones to use the DNA2 juice to enhance one of them. You're also going to need a small amount of gang token to create the clone. So we know that gang token should be dropping here in the next week or 2.5 weeks. It's supposed to be the Q3. Q3 is coming to an end very soon, and this backs it up in that they said that the clone machine will be functional starting in October. So we should be having the gang token drop coming soon, which I think could provide a little bit of a jump start to the market if we see a favorable distribution of that.
So tell me about this beef between Gutter Cat Gang and Bored Ape, because now I'm curious. I want to know.
There were, some Bored Apes were calling it like another cash grab because the Gutter Cat Gang team was bringing in $2 to $6 million. Gutter Cats were like, well, you guys had your cash grab with
now it's our turn.
with other side land. Yeah, so now it's our turn. I think the whole thing was just stupid. Like at this point, there are a handful of projects that are going to survive. I think Bored Apes and Gutter Cats are 2 of them. I'm not sure why people feel the need to get in arguments on Twitter. Like, I guess if you got nothing better to do. But it was just annoying coming back and seeing that right away and being like, Jesus, people, can we just like go one day? And as an ape holder, I think a lot of other ape holders should just shut up when it comes to talking about other projects and their shortcomings. It's like apes have done very well financially if you've been around for a while. There have also been plenty of issues with Bored Ape Yacht Club. So it's pretty tone deaf to be calling any other project. After we had the mutant Dutch auction that Yuga made $90 million on. We had other deeds where they made a shit ton of money on. Maybe just shut up. Like that's kind of where I'm at with all of it right now is like, just shut up and go about your day and stop sweating what every other project is doing.
Yeah, I think it's just that, that Bored Ape has such a high floor price that it automatically makes everything right. It's like, oh, well, they might have gotten 80 mil for it, but our floor is 80 ETH or 70 ETH. I mean, so that's all fine,
But it's like, just let the market decide. Like, if these didn't sell out, then it would have shown that the market didn't want it, but they did. So just let the market play out. Like, I don't know what the need to get involved in everything is.
And there was no overhyping either, right?
No, it wasn't like they had built this up for a long time. It's not like they had a long, drawn-out reveal. So I just think it's people are frustrated because there hasn't been any Bored Ape announcements in a while, and we'd been expecting something in August. We're almost halfway through September. We still haven't heard anything. So I think people are just getting frustrated and taking that frustration out, on others in the space, which is really dumb.
It's a bad look. Yeah.
It's a very bad look for everyone.
For sure.
Yeah. But not me, because I don't do that shit. So let's move on. Last thing we're going to talk about today. This is something really cool. So we're going to end on a pretty positive note. We've talked about Aku Dreams in the past. We've talked about Akutars. We were big proponents for those when they dropped. Aku was featured at the D23 Expo, which is Disney's big annual expo they have every year. They announced a ton of, what they're going to be coming out with, around Disney movies. Marvel stuff, Star Wars, all that good shit. They had, a partnership with Visa. Visa has Aku as like one of like their first creator, and so there was like a big Aku display at D23. There was also a panel that featured Aku creator Micah Johnson, and this was the only non-Disney IP to appear at D23 this year, which is that's really cool. Like I
Yeah.
think that has to be a positive, not just for Aku, but for the space as a whole. And we've talked like at nauseum about how important investing in storytelling brands is right now. And we're seeing it with Aku. And I still think that this is one of those projects, not financial advice, that, whether you're investing in the Aku Dreams, chapters like the videos, or you want to buy the Aku Tars, floor on those is 0.47 right now. I still think there's plenty of room for this project to grow in the future as we learn more about what they're doing. So I think this is super cool. Like you have to be, bullish on what they're doing if they're getting the attention of Disney and there's any amount of involvement with that.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's a slight possibility for like a Disney type movie with featuring Aku?
I mean, I'm not going to say no. Like they clearly have some sort of involvement with them.
Yeah.
And when they had the Aku chapters, which told that story, there's a new drop that has started where it's just for people who are mega OG Akutar holders. It's gonna be like a 5-chapter thing. So they've started. Chapter 1 is already out. That's really cool. And I think there's definitely a possibility. Aku is a very, very cool character, very marketable. Appeals to a wide array of people, and I think that Disney is all about that. And I think that's what we need, and it's going to help, bring in a wider net. It's going to, spread a wider net of people who can come into NFTs when they see someone they can relate to more.
Yeah, I wonder. I think it's definitely within like the realm of possibilities, right? Like, I mean, it's such a great character, such a great story behind it as well. I can definitely see it. Like, I can already see it in my head, like the whole like Aku Disney type movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess time will tell.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that Aku is a great investment. Not financial advice at the moment. I still think it's really cool. So that wraps up everything that we were going to discuss on the NFT front. We still, in the coming days, when we talk to everyone next on Friday, we should have a better idea of what's going on with ETH, with the merge coming up. That
Exciting.
It's very exciting. I don't know what to think. I'm not sure the market knows what to think and how the market will react to all of this. So, there's still a lot to be seen at the moment.
Yeah, it's I see a lot of people throw around like they feel like it's kind of like the whole Y2K thing again, where it's kind of like, I don't know what's happening, but I hope everything's gonna go all right. Except now we're like heavily financially involved, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think that is where we're going to wrap it for today. Any closing thoughts, Dan, before we head out?
I'd say don't get scammed. Apparently, there's a bunch of people going around on Twitter, as they usually do, saying how you have to like migrate to ETH 2.0 or something. Newsflash: you don't have to do anything. You're good. So don't get scammed, please.
Yeah, and don't go chasing after like some of these like different forked networks and coins and stuff. Like if you're unclear about how these things work, the best bet is just to do nothing. And that's what I'm going to do. So
me too.
That's where we're going to wrap it for today. Thank you for watching. Once again, please like today's show, subscribe to our channel, and go to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT needs. So for Dan, for the rest of the team at FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.